Thank you everyone for being with us. SkyTouch Technology is proud to present today's webinar topic, the power of the mobile PMS. Mobile technology has forced hoteliers to reinvent the way they connect with customers and how they manage day-to-day operations. With a mobile property management system, hotel operators can access powerful property and rate management tools. Through a simple, intuitive interface accessible to any device with a web browser, hoteliers can manage their hotels from anywhere. In this interactive webinar, you will learn the top ways hotel staff can benefit from a modern mobile PMS. My name is Joshua Molina, and I will be your host today. I am joined by Rui Pereira and Kyle Larson. Rui is a senior hotel technology professional with more than 20 years of IT and operations leadership success in the hospitality industry. He currently works as a hotel product expert for SkyTouch Technology. Kyle has more than 13 years of experience in the hospitality industry with major brands like Marriott, Hilton, and Choice Hotels International. He currently leads a team of software-as-a-service sales professionals at SkyTouch Technology. Before we give the time over to them, I want to remind you that we welcome your questions. If you have a question, please type it into the WebEx chat bar under the Q&A section so we can see your questions. I will now turn the time over to our panelists. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you, Josh. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Josh, as well, and thanks for joining the webinar.
Great. To start out, first we'll give you some of the basics about what is the cloud and what I'm sure you've heard the term cloud everywhere and in your daily life. You probably hear it multiple times a day. In cloud computing, the term cloud just is really an easy way to distribute information in a centralized way that eliminates the need for having lots of hardware and servers and a lot of other devices at the property level, and all that is brought into a centralized location. And again, I'm sure throughout the days and throughout the day, you hear many names out there being thrown around about who are the top cloud providers out there today. And some of the names, as you see them on the slide there, you can see that Amazon Web Services is a big name, Microsoft Azure, Oracle Cloud Services, and IBM Cloud Services. And then you probably hear some types of cloud, but the different types of the cloud availability that's out there. And the most prevalent is SaaS, and that's what SkyTouch is today. SkyTouch is software as a service. And then you may also hear infrastructure as a service, and that means that all of your hardware is up in the cloud somewhere and is being hosted in a data center somewhere around the world. And then there's PaaS, which stands for Platform as a Service. And again, it's just a way to centralize different hardware and software. And then there's a number of different deployment types, and you can see a public cloud, you can have private clouds, and you can have a hybrid, which means a mix of both. As technology improves every day, the more and more the cloud is becoming the default way to provide software services.
I get a lot of questions about why cloud computing, what's so important about the cloud, and we've outlined some of the top 6 reasons on why we believe cloud computing is so important and why some of the common reasons organizations are actually turning to the cloud. One is the cost. It eliminates a lot of the capital expenses when it comes to hardware. Instead of installing a local server with tens of thousands of dollars, you're able to provide a subscription service, and we do a lot of the computing and host the cloud data for you. Another thing is performance. The great thing about cloud computing is the regular upgrades to latest gen computing hardware. So we're able to do background upgrades that improve your system as it goes instead of continuously having to do download updates or not having updates every few years with really premise-based services. So the other thing is reliability, making data backup, disaster recovery, and the overall business community easier and less expensive. It is proven that cloud is more reliable than on-premise and is actually less likely to be hacked. Also, another thing is the global scale. With the advent of companies that Rui mentioned, like Amazon Web Services, you're able to put data all around the world in different local focal points. So it's becoming prevalent to have your data everywhere and access anywhere. Another reason is speed. The overall just provision of additional computing resources in minutes. Cloud speed is going to get faster. We're going to be able to do more things as we migrate and move more stuff to the cloud, which will be a benefit overall to both businesses and the consumer. And then finally, just the labor cost savings. Your size of your IT support does not need to be vast and broad. You need to have, professionals that understand the cloud service, but a lot of the technology background and aspects of what you need to host your data is going to be taken care of by these companies.
Great, and then one of the more important pieces of being in the cloud is security and being PCI compliant. So, today, I'm sure, again, throughout your daily life, you're hearing lots about security issues and security hacks. Like Kyle just mentioned, one of the ways that being in the cloud, you are definitely more secure, and PCI compliance is a big piece of that as well through the payment card industry. There's certain requirements from the payment card industry that requires you to be secure and to be compliant. And we do that for you automatically. This is a system that's being delivered via the cloud, like we are. We have to go through certain security audits periodically to make sure that we are PCI compliant, that our security is top notch, and that there's no data is being compromised. And the other thing that's also becoming, that I'm sure you've been hearing lots about, and it's coming soon, is GDPR, which is the new data protection regulations that are being implemented in Europe. And from what we're hearing, some of these regulations may also come to the United States, may adopt some parts of that regulation. And for sure, from what we're hearing in Canada is also looking very hard at these regulations to also implement them up there. So, being in the cloud, we take care of that. We're always making sure that the systems are secure and are compliant to any data security issues that are out there.
So that's a little bit about the background of cloud, the history of cloud. Now let's talk about really what this webinar is all about and how you can incorporate mobility into the guest life cycle. This is going to be at the forefront hotels. As we move forward in technology, there's a lot of key differentiators of why you want to be in a cloud-based PMS, and we're going to outline a few of those things and some of the key differentiators that we think can take your hotel to the next level. One of the biggest things that I have heard from hoteliers that use SkyTouch is the ability to increase revenue at their hotels. There's a lot of great testimonials on our website that you'd be happy to reference, but some of the coolest things that I think are important when it comes to cloud-based PMS is the ability to manage important stay restrictions. You can, set minimum, maximum length of stays, close to arrivals, and you can do this anywhere and everywhere from any device. I think that's one of the most key differentiators and important things is having the ability to not only you don't have to call your hotel or your managers or your front desk agents to actually, hey, will you update this rate? You can actually pull out your phone and update rates on the fly. It allows you to adapt to your market quickly. When you're able to change rates on the fly, to sit in your pajamas and check your hotel out and change the rate based on a certain amount of occupancy, then you're able to gain more rate and more revenue for your hotel. Another key differentiator that we like in our rate management system is the ability to set alerts. If I'm hitting a certain amount of occupancy, I need to know that. If I'm hitting a certain threshold of, of the amount booked, I want to know that, and so that I can make changes accordingly. And the great thing is with the cloud is you're able to make those changes on the fly. Another thing is our automated revenue management rules. How nice is it if you are seeing a high occupancy spike in, let's say, a month of July, and you're sitting here in April, and you're able to see that spike, and it's going to automatically change your bar levels, you're going to make more money on those rates. And that way it'll push that rate up, and you'll be yielding, maybe it's $10, maybe it's $20 per reservation. But those numbers quickly add up and just mean more money for your hotel. And then finally, something that we throw out is just selling limits. The ability to put selling limits on certain rate plans You know, something like an Expedia or Booking.com, you know, and maybe in a high summer month you don't want to have as many of those because you know you'll get walk-ins or, you know, reservations via your website. So you can set selling limits so that you're not paying too much commission on those Booking Expedias, and you're able to yield more higher rate. So that's just one of the key things that we like to talk about, rate management. I do believe is one of the key differentiators is not only in the SkyTouch platform, but in cloud services PMS overall, is the ability to really change and maximize revenue in the palm of your hands.
That's great, Kyle. And you know, again, as Kyle mentioned, you know, SkyTouch is you're able to access it via pretty much any device that you as long as it has a broadband connection or internet connection. So you know, it's very and for us, our system is very intuitive, very user friendly, and mobile friendly. And you know, right away when you log into our platform, you get a snapshot of exactly what's going on at your property at that moment. You know, what's my occupancy? How many arrivals do I have today? How many rooms do I still have dirty? So if I'm in housekeeping, I need to maybe send a message to my housekeeping staff to begin to clean rooms faster if it's possible. And then having the ability to roam around the lobby with a mobile device like an iPad or a Microsoft Surface, and being able to check in a guest from anywhere in the lobby is one of the cool features that you can get from a mobile PMS.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. I mean, everybody knows that time when you have 30 to 40 arrivals, and you know it's going to happen. They're all going to come at the same time, and just that ability to, you know, improve guest services and likelihood to recommend by, you know, taking the onus and maybe going out there with the tab and checking people in.
And for those of you that have hotel properties that are close to an airport, imagine just being able to check them in as they drive, as you pick them up at the hotel at the airport and drive them to the hotel.
We actually have some hotels that do that, and it's great. They actually check them in on the shuttle bus, and it's just a little bit extra level of service that kind of takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
I think one of the other great things about cloud technology is the ability to interact between your housekeeping staff and your front desk staff. You know, we all know and all familiar being hoteliers. Rui and I ourselves have been on property for years. You know, hey, can you get on the walkie-talkie and call room 101 and talk to the housekeeping supervisor? Is it clean yet? You know, and that guest service agent is in front of a guest, and they're still trying to figure out, or maybe going into the back room and finding out if that room is clean. Well, those days are over. You know, now with instantaneous cloud technology, the minute a housekeeper updates that room status, the front desk agent is going to know their inventory and know what's clean and ready. So it's just a really impactful, in a little way, it can make a big difference to not only that speed of check-in, but also the interaction between your front desk and your housekeeping. Some of the other things is just, again, that ability to clean and update status on the fly for your housekeepers, using a tablet or a Kindle Fire. I think we've all realized over the last few years how tablets have gone down significantly. It's no longer $500, $600. Now there still are out there, but you can find Kindle Fires for $50. And so giving that ability to your housekeeping staff really changes the game for it. I know that we have a lot of SkyTouch properties that do this, and they're really, really a big fan of the housekeeping ability to really update status and, you know, have that communication to their front desk. This is something that, you know, might not also incorporate into the cloud as a whole, but it really does. I mean, when you're talking about training costs, that's one of the most things that I find, and we've done a lot of market research with, you know, people out there on premise-based systems and how these old legacy systems are so complicated to use. It's very challenging. It's very difficult for a guest service agent to come in and learn systems. And we've found that, especially with the SkyTouch Hotel OS, you are able to train people in about 2 shifts. And that's where really, you know, training costs can come into play and save you money, because we all know turnover is one of the biggest obstacles for hoteliers these days. You know, there's a lot of great hotels that are able to keep staff for a long time, but I talk to a lot of hotel owners, and that's one of their biggest challenges. You know, they're constantly turning over new employees, and so how great it is to have a very simple and easy system to use and to train on. The other thing is some of our e-learning. I think, you know, even being in the cloud, that does impact you, you're able to go in and see, let's say you have a multiple group of hotels. Maybe you have 5 hotels and you want to see how your training staff, how your GSAs or housekeepers, have they gone through the actual training? Because, SkyTouch has 13 online training modules, and you're able to have that access to those training as long as you're a SkyTouch customer. So you're able to actually train your staff without, with our system on the e-learning modules. And they can do that at any point. They can log in. And that goes back to the cloud ability, is the access anywhere and everywhere. And we find that, a trained agent is a happy agent and a very successful guest service agent.
And a great customer service.
Correct. Yeah. The more they know, the easier it is for them to not feel confused at the desk, and really take care of that desk. Not look down and try to figure out the system, but actually make eye contact. And we've done numerous stats, and I'm sure you've all heard this. The more eye contact, the more guest interaction, the more likelihood that they are to recommend your hotel.
Also, this is a big question. What does the future look like for hotel technology? With the ability of the cloud and the ease of building systems today and delivering technology, it's changing very rapidly. 5 years ago, mobility was just something that we were thinking about, and today it's a reality. What may be available tomorrow is yet to be discovered. But we at SkyTouch, we're constantly looking at what's coming next. What can we do to improve our system? And to that, we're about to deliver an open API that will allow us to begin to connect to many other platforms that are available out there, like guest messaging automatically. Today we do some of that connectivity today, but this API is going to allow us to be instant connectivity, meaning the moment the guest checks in, a text message is sent to that guest automatically, or an email is sent to the guest, or whatever it is, whatever information you want to send to the guest can be done automatically. Connectivity to revenue management systems, to mobile check-in devices, and so on. So it's ever changing, and what the PMS of the future is going to look like is yet to be determined. But the PMS may not exist in 5 years. It may be more of a hotel management system that centralizes all these different technologies into one platform that is essentially managed in the cloud, or primarily in the cloud.
Yeah, and I think just to add on to that, it's so interesting. I think with technology the way it is today, you're seeing so many companies come out there. You'll find a new a chat service here one day, and then another one the next day. You'll find so many things. So I think what SkyTouch and what we truly believe is the future is to have a really strong operating system, the best in the industry, so that from a hotel operator, you're able to take care of everything, and then you're able to pick a la carte what you want. There'll be so many more growing companies, so we don't want to try to build everything for everybody. What we want to do is provide the options and the opportunity for you to pick the best-in-class services that you need to be successful in your hotel.
That's great.
Well, I would hate to leave this webinar without, for some of you new people who maybe are not familiar with SkyTouch, without understanding a little bit about what we offer. A little bit about who we are. We are the largest cloud-based PMS solution in the industry. We have over 7,000 installations with 70,000 plus users in over 9 countries, and we're continuously growing in market and outside of the U.S. The international presence is going to grow as we get bigger, but we are a true native cloud solution. You can run your hotel from anywhere. It's kind of like the adage of when you go to a website and you see a refresh and you didn't even download anything, that's the difference between a native and a hosted system. People always ask me, do you have an app? Well, we don't want an app. We're actually web-based so that we can do more of the improvements in the background and not have it impact the customer, so that we can continuously improve this product for the next 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, so that in the background we're doing the work so it doesn't impact you. The other thing is to go along with that is some of the delivery of monthly enhancements. We try to do a cadence of, at least every other month, but somewhat getting on a monthly cadence of sending out improvements. We launched our customer community, which, as we move forward, we'll have the ability to have our customers be able to vote on improvements, or, throw out options of what they'd like to see. And we take our customer base very seriously. We want to improve on what they need, and so that's why we're continuously doing improvements and setting that time out for you guys to have a better system. 24/7, 365 support. That's to me one of the biggest things. We are hoteliers at heart, and so we believe that the number one thing we need to do is take care of our customers, so we include that support. Our call center here is in Phoenix, local in the U.S., and we want you to be able to have instant access to our customer service professionals so that you can get real-time resolution, whether it's 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning. The other thing is things like automatic rate updates pushed to the OTAs. How nice is it to have these automatic updates so that, it'll push it out to the OTA so that you're not losing money, and you can, change your bar levels and push that out so you're actually increasing revenue at your hotels. And again, I just want to stress that there's a lot of cool testimonials on our website that actually demonstrate from real hoteliers like yourself on how they were able to increase money. Multiple languages. I hear from some of the other people or competitors that, you have to have one language at the PMS. Well, not with SkyTouch. Every unique individual is able to have their own language set. So if you have a housekeeper that, maybe it needs one language and your front desk agent needs another, we're able to give that to you. And that service, I think, is very important as, we move forward.
That's true for the guest as well.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, as well as the guests. And then finally, device and browser agnostic. I think that really is, you may not seem as important as it is, but it really is. It's the ability to use this on any device, anywhere, at any time. So it's just so important that you understand that that is one of the key differentiators that we believe with SkyTouch is instant access everywhere.
Kyle, wouldn't it have been cool when we were GMs at properties to have technology like this where we could have just managed anything from anywhere?
I would have loved it. I was calling the front desk, panicking, telling them to raise my bar levels. So yeah, really, I couldn't agree more. This is a lot of fun stuff that really helps the hotelier out. I talked a little bit about the testimonials. I'll read these out to you guys real quick. It's just a couple of our owners, but, I can see the exact same thing on my screen or my iPad or my laptop at home versus what's at the property. The biggest factor is that I can use my iPhone to check a bunch of things and have remote control. That function is really good for a multi-property owner. And that's so true. I often get a conversation or a question rather, hey, well, Kyle, what if my Wi-Fi goes down? Well, you do have 4G service, so you can access this with your cell phone. So, again, stressing anywhere at any time you have access. Now, unfortunately, if the world ended and we don't have cell service and Wi-Fi, we do cash emergency reports. So in the worst case scenario, you always have a backup. And then finally, our friends at Broughton Hospitality, switching over to SkyTouch with the bar system, the revenue management tools you guys provide, I'm able to go on my phone. I'm able to do it from anywhere I need to easily change my rates. Just a quick look at the calendar and seeing where I have to go and moving them up or down so that we're priced strategically and we're able to get those bookings from market competitors. I love that quote. There was a hotel in California that actually increased the revenue with that portfolio by about $20,000 since installing SkyTouch. And so these are real true stories about how SkyTouch has impacted hoteliers such as yourselves in making more money. And at the end of the day, I think that's the most important thing. How do we make more money for our hotels?
That is true.
Great. Thank you so much for that insight, Kyle and Rui. Lots of great information there. I'm sure you have lots of questions. If you do, please type them into the Q&A chat bar on your WebEx at the right hand of your screen. We have a couple questions here. The first one is from Justin, and I think we touched on this, but he asked, can I change the rates using a phone?
Of course, yeah. So either a phone or a tablet, as long as you have access to the internet, you'll be able to log in and make the changes.
Or self-service.
Or self-service,
yeah. So yeah, yes, you can, instant access.
Yeah.
And remember, it's a responsive design, so that's always important to know. It's going to fit to your screen. You're not going to have to, have it be real funky. It is responsive design.
Great. The other question we have here, what countries do you currently service?
We service, obviously U.S., Canada, Mexico, France, Germany, UK,
Australia,
New Zealand, Nicaragua. We launched. We're looking at launching in Africa here shortly. I think let me preface this. You know, as SkyTouch has grown, we have opened this up to international. When we first were starting, we were really trying to take over the key markets that we could do it, but we're really open for business. Now that we've moved into Amazon Web Services, we are open to moving out really anywhere as long as the language requirements meet what we have currently or there's looking at development. And the other thing is we don't manage currency. We manage it from a numerical value. So as long as you can handle that, which, you know, obviously you do the local currency or whatever currency you use, we will run it, but it is based on a numerical value. So as long as that fits what you're looking for, we can supply the SkyTouch Hotel OS.
Great. Another question here. What credit card hardware do you suggest with the mobile check-in?
Today we have a product, we use Ingenico devices, and we are in the process of certifying one of their models for mobile devices. And off the top of my head, I don't know what the model is, but it is being certified as we speak right now.
So we'll have a little bit more. I'm sure Josh and his team will have a little bit more of a press release around that information as we move forward. But we are certifying that as well. So we're just finalizing that.
Great. And then another question: is there no hardware required for the hotels?
There's no server requirement. The only requirement there is a device to actually run the system. So you need either a laptop, a desktop, or a mobile device like an iPad, a Surface tablet, something like that. But as far as the hardware in the back office that you typically have with a computer room, that hardware goes away and you no longer need that.
Great, thank you. All right, looks like that's all the questions we have right now. If you have any further questions or if you'd like to book a demo, please go to our website, skytouchtechnology.com. We made it easy. The right-hand side of your screen, there's a red button called Demo. Hit that, fill out the form, and we will schedule a customized demo for you, and we'll answer any other questions that you have at that time. Again, thank you, big thank you to Rui and Kyle, our panelists, and thank you to all of you for attending, and we wish you a great rest of the day.
Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you very much.